What's up everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be installing the HAT Design battery clamp. It's a CNC machine battery clamp which looks much better than the OEM stock steel one. It comes in 3 finishes, red, black, and silver. Let's get started with this install, it's going to be fun. Alright, let's unbox these parts. As you can see here, I got a few more parts than just the battery clamp itself, but we'll go through it. This is the red anodized battery clamp. Again, it's CNC machined. It's a very clean look. Excited to install this today. I'm going to show you these other parts as I unbox them, just so you know what HAT Design offers. This is the shift gate trim ring, and it pretty much snaps on in place. You really don't have to dismantle a whole lot, just take the shift knob of your truck off and you can slide this right over the shift column and then reinstall your shift knob. This part right here is the shifter trim, and it comes with anodized bolts, which you'll see at the end of this unboxing. You can get those anodized bolts in multiple colors and the accessory in multiple colors as well. This is the cup holder trim ring. As you can see, I got everything in black matte finish. Black and red are my colors. Click the link above to see the video of the install of these accessories. And finally, the anodized bolts, which you got in red. Comes with the Allen wrench, so you can tighten them down, as well as the nuts and lock washers that you'll need to install. So let's pop that hood and get started. Once we've got the hood open, we're going to take a 10mm socket and a small ratchet and just undo the existing OEM steel battery clamp. We'll undo both posts. One of the keys here when you're working on a vehicle is to make sure that your ratchet does not touch both battery terminals at the same time. If it does, then you might have a little bit different experience than I did installing this part. Because the new battery clamp is so thick, much thicker than the OEM stock steel battery clamp, I had to actually purchase this online. I've got a link in the description for this part. It's only about 10 bucks. As you can see here, it doesn't quite fit into the hole, so I had to grab some pliers and reshape it. It's really not that hard, just hold on to it pretty tight, grab the end and just stretch it out. Once you've got it shaped correctly, you can just slide right in and it'll just hook up. Now that we're ready to install the battery clamp and the new post, as well as the old post, just clean the top of the battery, sides of the battery, just make sure that it's all ready to go. I'm gonna lay out the parts here. Here's the nuts and the washers that come with the clamp itself from HAT Design. This is a comparison of the OEM post compared to the new post that we purchased. Just go ahead and set the new battery clamp on top of the battery. And during the install, I started from the back side of the battery if I was looking at the vehicle from the front end, and installed the OEM post on the back side of the battery first with its washer as well as its lock nut. Once that was done, I grabbed my ratchet with my 10mm socket and just tightened that down a little bit. Not extremely tight because we need some room to maneuver the front. Now we can install the new post on the front side. And really what we're doing here is we're actually going to prepare to mark it because it's a little bit too long. So we're gonna get it into place, make sure that it fits, and then we're gonna mark it with a Sharpie, and that will allow us to trim it down. As I installed the washer and the OEM lock nut, I realized that the lock nut itself was a different type of threading, so I need to use the nut that actually came with the post. But I can still mark this out with the Sharpie right on top of the nut that actually came with the new post itself. Now I'm going to show you a trick that I learned growing up in a bike shop to trim the new post down. Put the 2 nuts on, screw them down just below the marking, the Sharpie marking. We'll tighten those by finger here. And once we've got those tightened by finger, we'll take a couple of crescent wrenches and actually tighten them up against each other. So you're just holding one crescent wrench down while you use the other one to tighten both nuts against each other. And you can see here that I placed both of these nuts just below that black Sharpie marking. Now we're going to take our grinder and just grind through that black Sharpie marking itself. Be very careful. As you can see here, it wanted to jump on me a little bit. So I just kept my cool and handled it. But it can be very dangerous. I'm trimming the top just to make sure that it's flat. And then once that's done, we go ahead and undo these two nuts, and by reversing this top nut off, completely off, it will actually re-thread any bent threads. Now that that's done, I'm just going to trim the edge just very gently, not a lot of pressure there, and then unscrew that last nut, just ensuring that the threads are still intact. Now we're ready to install the post we just trimmed on the front side of the battery. Not a whole lot to it. Set the bottom J-hook in place, stick it through the hole of the battery clamp itself. I'll speed this up right here, but basically I'm just trying to align it and make sure that both posts are in their holes correctly before tightening everything down. Here you see me just reaching in to make sure that the J-hook is settled and kind of in place exactly where I want it. Put the washer on, grab the nut that the post came with and screw that on. You can go pick up a lock nut from an auto parts store or your local hardware store in order to have both sides look the same if you'd like. Then grab your ratchet and tighten it down on both ends evenly so that you don't have one side pulling tighter than the other. And there it is, the finished product, the AJT Design battery clamp installed. You can see why I got red to match the TRD intake. It looks great, it's very sturdy. Close that hood and you should be set. Oh, and one last thing. Can't forget to put the sticker in place. If you enjoyed this video, hit like, hit subscribe, and click that notification bell so you get future updates whenever I upload a new video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.